Hi, my name is Rashida Butler Jackson from SecureFutures. I want to thank you for your commitment to being a volunteer for our Money Sense program. We truly can't do this meaningful work without you. In this section of the training, we will review tips for successful classroom engagement. First, we'll review cultural competency for its importance in volunteering with our students. Volunteering with SecureFutures will likely give you the opportunity to work with young people who have had different experiences than you. We believe that this is a strength of our program and see this as a benefit for both our volunteers and the youth we serve. As working cross-culturally may be a new experience for you, we feel it is important to provide you with some guidance around making the most of these opportunities. A person is culturally competent if they understand and can appropriately respond to the uniqueness of others, including ability, ethnicity, age, beliefs, experiences, gender, national origin, sexual orientation, religion, race, and socioeconomic background. Individuals develop cultural competency by opening themselves up to new experiences, moving outside of their comfort zone, and developing self-awareness around how they interact with people who are different from them. One thing that can get in the way of cultural competency is implicit bias. Implicit bias refers to attitudes or stereotypes that affect our understanding, actions, and decisions in an unconscious manner. Implicit biases are behind those automatic, sometimes judgmental thoughts that pop into our minds when drawing conclusions about people we don't know very well. Implicit bias is a part of being human, but it can be problematic if we let our biases inform our actions and decisions and affect the way we interact with others. Developing cultural competency and raising awareness of your own implicit bias is important to this volunteer opportunity. We want you to approach all students with openness, genuine curiosity, and compassion. All students are individuals with complex personal histories and circumstances. In some ways, they may exemplify what you expect of them. In other ways, they'll surprise you. We suggest that you get to know the students as individuals and let them tell you who they are. A few things you can do to improve your cultural competency are build self-awareness, question automatic thoughts, be humble and acknowledge that you don't know everything, and talk to people and gain new perspectives and understandings about their lives, beliefs, and cultures. If you would like more information on cultural competency, please contact our staff. Now, let's move into some tips on presenting. As a SecureFutures volunteer, we know you have a goal of presenting our lessons effectively to the students you'll work with. Developing a good presentation style drives student interest and engagement and maximizes student learning. Establishing a relationship with the students is an important first step in that. There are a number of things you can do to build rapport. Know your audience. Our curriculum is primarily delivered to high school students. Most teenagers aren't thinking about financial education. They're often thinking about what they'll do this weekend, what's going on social media, or what movie they're going to see with their friends. Feel free to survey the students by asking if they have jobs, if they have an account, or how or if they manage their money. This can help you to know where students are coming from. Deliver your hook. Use your opening to connect and create interest and show your passion for the topics you will be delivering. Be warm and confident, give your credentials, and talk about what you can do for them to help them learn how to make and manage money. Let them know that you'll be sharing both personal and professional experiences that will help them to understand the material. Use student names. This is a top strategy for showing you care and getting students comfortable with you. Be sure to have students write their name on the name tents and address them by name when they are asking or answering a question. Don't be afraid to walk over to them so that you can see their name or ask how it's pronounced. Verbal and nonverbal communication are equally important. When it comes to verbal communication, keep these things in mind. Volume. Think about making your voice fill the room. Pace. Don't rush. Go slow when you want to make a point and go faster when you think students understand. Inflection. Don't be monotone. Use inflection to stress a key word or point, but don't overdo it. Avoid artificial fillers such as, or like. You will also want to think about how you are presenting yourself from a nonverbal perspective. Consider these points as you prepare for your lessons. Body positioning. Stand front and center when addressing all students. Try not to stand in front of the presentation screen and try not to talk at it. Eye contact. Scan the entire class and make eye contact with specific students periodically. Show that you are interested in them. Movement. Be animated and move around a bit. Walk the aisles during activities and provide support. Use of your hands is good, as long as it isn't distracting. Facial expressions. Smile. Be genuine. Show enthusiasm and empathy or concern when appropriate. Learn to read cues. Head nods and attentive looks from students are good. Blank stares are not. Always check for understanding if you aren't sure students are following. Some other tips for presenting are: follow a logical path. Focus on key points and reinforce these points throughout the lesson. Use stories and personal experiences to supplement the content. Make sure they are relevant and tie into the lesson you are teaching. Use appropriate humor and be sure it's politically correct, age appropriate, and relevant to your lesson. Lead into each new topic throughout a lesson by asking students a question first. Ask students to share their experiences and ask questions. Have a strong conclusion. Ask students to share things they've learned and actions they will take. A successful presentation has its roots in meaningful engagement. Engagement starts with communication. Be sure to communicate with the educator you will be working with before and during the presentation. Classroom and behavioral management is their responsibility, but it's important that you are aware of the classroom culture before you begin working with students. Discuss classroom norms, policies, and procedures ahead of time so that you are prepared. Once you know what to expect from the classroom environment, you can focus on what students will be expecting from you. There are a few things that students want from a learning experience, such as the one that we provide at SecureFutures. Things that students are looking for are authenticity and a break from their normal routine, to feel included and hear things that are relevant to their lives. Here's a pro tip. Always ask students if they have examples of the concepts you are covering. Many students will already have some experience with specific things. Interaction. Talk to them and not at them. Make it a discussion. Be sure to think about what you valued in educators and mentors growing up. What are the characteristics that most stood out to you and made them memorable? Another thing to keep in mind is that all students don't learn the same way. Our lessons and activities are designed to address all learning styles. Kinesthetic. Your preference is using your body, hands, and sense of touch. Auditory means you prefer using sound and music. Visual means you prefer using pictures, images, and spatial understanding. And verbal means you prefer using words, both in speech and in writing. If a student is struggling with the concept, try a different approach to see if that improves their understanding. Successful classroom engagement may seem intimidating to master, but it really comes down to being prepared and being genuinely invested in sharing valuable information with all students. The students will be able to tell that you care, and they will respond accordingly. If you would like more guidance on engagement or presentation skills, visit the resource library or contact SecureFutures staff. Thank you again for your commitment.